go home and you pull up in the front yard and you sit outside and don't even want to go inside the house. So you go in, you just want to eat food and go to sleep, or eat food and get on your phone.
Wow.
That's not your wife. That's not your husband. That's not where you should be.
No, you're right, JB. This is some real talk. So my therapist said they're not red flags, they're stop signs. You know, so when we see I like that. It's like you know what I mean? Like we see red, like why are you trying to? But it's a complete stop sign that you're supposed to just like stop right there. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200. You know, go straight the other direction. But it's true. Like for me, and this is a personal right here. For me, I am a single woman and I have been married for so long. So I am used to having a mate with me. And it is difficult because I am a wife. I am not girlfriend. I don't know how to do this girlfriend thing. You know what I mean? So go on.
I'm sorry, I have to jump on. I'm also divorced as well. I was married for 11 years.
11 years, yeah.
And have 10-year-old twins out of it. And divorced 13 years. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
The point is I'm divorced and 10-year-old twins, and I'm also a wife. So the dating scene, it's insane. Like it's exhausting. It's very interesting.
Who you tell?
Meeting different people and dinner dates, and it's just exhausting. And I told Keisha, I said, this is not me. Like I don't do well with, hi, how are you? What's your name? And how many kids you have? It's exhausting, mentally exhausting, right? So I know it's not me. And same thing is, I'm a wife. I can't do it. And for me, exactly what we were talking about initially, the disparity of men and women in the church. Where are the men? You know, donde in Spanish. Donde? Where are the men? I don't know. I don't understand what's happening. And I feel like it's gotten even worse from when we started out younger in the church from now. And I recall even when we were younger growing up in ministry, how like the church will kind of like push you to kind of get, married. It was like,
that was it.
Better be married. That's a burn.
You gotta get married. Let's get married.
And I remember, and can I be transparent?
Yeah, absolutely.
I was a virgin when I got married initially. So I never had any experience prior to getting married because I made a conscious decision to wait. So I had no experience going into it. And I remember I felt like the church just never really prepared me for what it really was to be married and what it really meant to be a wife. And it was just like, okay, we came from, Pastor Keisha and I came from a Caribbean church, so it was
very apostolic.
It was very it's Pentecostal. It was very you don't go to sleep angry and you just talk it out and that's it. That was like what we got, right? So that's it. So we felt like we really never got and it was great. We had a great relationship with our leadership. But I feel like the foundation wasn't as, because I feel like it was kind of like taboo, so we didn't really get that. And I think the knowledge we have now and what we know now about marriage is like, I wish we would have talked about those intricate details when we first got married versus now, because I think what I would have known before, I would have known, wow, okay, right? And I say all of that to say, marriage as a whole, and I don't know if I'm going into a different a sector. I think if there's more men in the church or I don't know if it's just the men's department. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just a lack of men not drawing other men into the church. I don't know what is it that's just not it's just not there. It's not prevalent where the women are suffering, right? And it's causing women to sin, and it's causing a decline and to venture out and to finding men who are just not right for them.
Yeah.
And I like to say from a man's perspective, we tend to deal with, all of us do, but we deal with the same thing that the enemy did in the garden and the same thing he tried to do with Jesus after his 40-day fast, and that's tempt us with lust of the flesh, lust of eyes, and pride of life. Now, what that means for us, for every one of you that are going out and you're holding your standard, there are 3 of you that have no standard.
None at all.
So why am I going to go through a vetting process for a relationship when all I want is milk? And she giving it away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now, because they're all in flesh and because these have lowered their standards, I'm not willing to go through the long, arduous process of getting to know someone when all I want to do is get to know someone.
Right.
And I think that's the disparity. And it seems so awkward, but for all of you that have all these rules and this is what I'm willing to do and this is what I'm absolutely not doing, it always seems like you're the one that's waiting. And guess what? It should be that way.
Yeah.
It should be that way. You should wait for that thing that God has for you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think you're answering the question here. Like the question is being answered here. The disparity between men and women in the church, and we use the church as a symbolic of knowing God. So if you have way more women in the church than you have men, now let's step out to the streets.
Yeah.
If you all meet 100 men, you meet 100 men, 50% of those men automatically out the way.
Yeah.
You can't even. They're going to be married or what have you. 50% of those men. The other 25% of those men are not emotionally available.
Yeah.
So now you have 75 men that you have went through to get to the 25% that, okay, 5% of that 25 already is like, now I ain't even dealing with that. Now do you see why it's exhausting? Because you are thumbing through men just to get to the 10 men out of the 100 that you meet that have that could potentially be with you. And now when you get there, it's like, let's just go out and eat. Go ahead and tell me the stories. Ask me these questions because I'm ready to get back home. Now, because you're exhausted, you done did this 20 times before and it came out as nothing. As nothing. But while you went through 20 already, why not get the prize? Why not continue? Now what happens is it's like you shut down. Now you in the house on Friday night, Saturday night. I'm like, what? You want the man to just come and kick the door down? Now, he's crazy.
Hello,
now
sir.
the man is crazy. Oh, there's a red flag. You at my door. Like, what do you want? What do you want from us? Like, and again, that just goes back to say we can't grow weary.
Yes,
we can't grow weary. We cannot grow weary. We just really have. You really have to, again, in that vetting process, we have to weed them out. No matter how much you like them. No matter how much you like them.
I love that, JB. I love that.
We have to let them go.